I hope everyone is doing good this week. And as we continue to push towards Christmas and the birth of our Savior, I continue to focus on this theme of waiting. Advent is a time of waiting for Christ, and Christmas is a time of just waiting sometimes in general. And I don't know about you, but I am the most impatient person when it comes to waiting. The place where I see this most is when I'm trying to wait in a line at a store, and I'm going to tell you, I am so impatient waiting in the line at the store that sometimes I get downright angry. You know what I'm talking about. Angry because you got the little old lady in front of you who's counting out the coins one by one to pay. Or angry because you're in the 10 items or less line and there's someone with 27 items. Or the worst one, angry waiting in line because there's someone who has coupons and wants to price check every single item they're buying. Do you ever get angry while you're waiting? When we consider Jesus, and we consider waiting for our Savior, we consider the things that keep us between us and God. Is it anger? Are you in some way angry with God? Do you blame God for bad things that have happened in your life? Do you blame God for the loss of loved ones? Are you angry with God? Is the thing that's keeping you from being close to God as your Savior and Lord is your anger? Maybe you're not angry with God, but maybe you're so angry with someone else in your life that it makes it hard to have a right relationship with God. Do you have an anger problem when it comes to your spirituality? Is being angry keeping you from a Savior that loves you so much? There's many people throughout history who can relate to the anger of waiting, being angry at God because things aren't turning out the way you expect. Zephaniah was one. Zephaniah was part of the chosen people of God, yet they were pretty angry because they thought God had abandoned them. At times, Paul was angry. Paul was thrown in jail, chased out of town, almost killed and everything else. And at times, you can imagine, he was frustrated with his Savior. But both Zephaniah and Paul have a response to the anger. Both Zephaniah and Paul and us today realize that there is something better than waiting for God in anger. And that's joy. That's rejoicing. You see, God tells us that He brings us a joy and a rejoicing that is beyond anything we could ever imagine. Zephaniah calls on to us to rejoice. Paul tells us, in fact, to rejoice always. How can he say that? Because the reality of Christ is one of something better. The things you're angry at God about, the things you're angry at other people about, they're not your reality if you have a Savior in Jesus. Your reality in Jesus is one of rejoicing, is one of hope, is one of knowing that no matter how bad things are for you now, God has promised something better. If it's anger that's keeping you from the Savior, it's my prayer that God may bring you to a true rejoicing this holiday season. See you next week.